Hey everybody, this is Chris with High Seas Cruising, and welcome to this week's Cruise and Travel Show. Well, compared to last week, this has been a busy week for cruising. Fortunately, we have had quite a few cancellations this week, plus some other cruising news, and we're going to get to all of it right after this. So let's get right into it today. It is February the 28th, 2021, last day of the month. And compared to last week, it has been pretty busy. A lot of information has come out this week. Most of it, we were expecting it. We knew it was coming. As we get closer to May, we knew more cancellations would come. But let's get right into it. We're going to start with Disney Cruise Line. So Disney has canceled all cruises aboard the Dream and the Disney Fantasy through May, sailing out of Port Canaveral. The Disney Magic, which was going to sail out of Europe, has canceled all of its cruises up till mid-August. And the Disney Wonder has canceled all of its May sailings up through Alaska. All guests who have paid their reservations up in full do have the option of 125% future cruise credit, or can have their cruise price refunded. Also, Azamara Cruises has canceled all of its cruisings up till June 30th, 2021, stating its primary goal continues to be a healthy return to service for guests, crew, and communities that the ship visits. Guests will have 3 compensation options. They can choose from 125% future cruise credit. They can do the lift and shift, which is keeping your vacation plans to the same destinations and simply moving the booking to a future date. Or, of course, you can get 100% refund. Also this week, Carnival Cruise Lines has canceled all sailings up through May 31st, 2021, stating a date for the return of guest cruising operations from U.S. ports has not yet been determined. In a statement made by Christine Duffy, who is president of Carnival Cruise Lines, she states, "We continue to work on plans to resume operations and are encouraged by the focus to expedite vaccine production and distribution, which are having a demonstrated impact on improving public health. We appreciate the support of all of our guests, employees, and trade partners who we know are looking forward to our return." And of course, Carnival is now joining Norwegian Cruise Lines, which had already canceled their sailings up through May 31st of 2021 as well. Princess Cruise Lines has officially canceled the majority of its Alaskan cruise program for 2021 for ships departing from Canadian cruise ports or returning back to Canadian cruise ports. This includes Alaska 7-day Voyage of the Glacier cruises sailing between Vancouver, British Columbia, and Anchorage, Pacific coastals that start or end in Vancouver, and Canadian adventure sailings round trip from Southampton. Princess stated it is engaged with various United States and Canadian government officials to try to preserve a portion of the Alaska and Canada and New England 2021 cruise seasons. Princess also stated it is committed to operating the Kennel Princess Wilderness Lodge, along with the McKinley Resort and the Westmark Fairbanks Hotel this summer, and is working on vacation land packages, details that they're going to announce shortly. Seabourn Cruises also announced on Wednesday they are canceling all of their 2021 Alaska cruises. The company stated it is maintaining its optimism for the ultimate restart of travel, while in the meantime continuing to take a practical approach in extending its current operational pause. Seabourn cited the Canadian Transport Ministry interim order that closed Canadian ports and waters to passenger vessels as the reason for the Alaska season being canceled. Holland America has also now canceled Alaskan cruises for 2021 that leave or depart from a Canadian port due to the Canadian cruise ban. The company announced it is extending its pause of cruise operations to now include all sailings that depart from or conclude in a Canadian port in 2021. They also stated at this time that Alaska cruises departing mid-May and sailing round trip from Seattle, Washington are not being canceled at this time. So as you can see, it definitely was a week of cruise cancellations that we didn't want to see, but we're not really surprised have happened. With Canada putting in the cruise ban until 2022, we knew it was going to affect the Alaska cruising season, but it's not over yet. There is still hope. It may be slim, but hope is hope. And for those of us that have Alaska cruises booked this season, take every little bit of hope we can get. And this week, Norwegian Cruise Lines President and CEO Frank Del Rio did note that there is a strong effort from government officials to help get some part of the Alaska cruise season saved. He stated, "We are encouraged that the situation with Alaska and the Canadian closure until the spring of 2022 has been noted by various government officials. As you know, tourism is the third largest industry in Alaska, and for certain Alaskan coastal communities, cruising is over 90% of their tourism business. And if we cannot operate on Alaska in 2021, that'll be 2 years that they will go without this infusion of business activity, and that's going to be extremely difficult for them. And so we are hopeful, cautiously optimistic," Del Rio stated. "It's a lot of hoops to jump through, both from the Canadian side, and also, let's face it, we cannot operate as of today in U.S. waters and Alaska waters. So we have suspended taking new bookings on Alaska, because I think the whole industry has. But we do hold out some hope that these initiatives led by the Alaskan delegation can open up Alaska for 2021. So like I said, there is hope out there. There is still the chance that they could get a waiver and not have to stop in Canada, or a possibility that Canada might, just might, allow for technical stops, which would allow some of the Alaskan cruise season to continue. I think the best way to look at that right now is until the cruise lines actually cancel all Alaskan cruises departing from the United States, that at least lets you know they are still working in the background. They're still trying to find a solution that will get us back to Alaska this season. As we begin March tomorrow, I honestly feel that May is probably going to be canceled for all of the Alaskan cruise season. I just think we're running out of time with test cruises not starting yet. And without a confirmed date when we're going to be able to return to sailing, that time frame is getting smaller and smaller. If it does end up happening this year, which I've got my fingers crossed that it does, I think we're probably looking more June of July time frame for that to happen. But that is just a guess on my part. Until we actually get any kind of confirmed information, we just don't know. Now, for some positive cruise news. After all that cancellation talk, we can definitely use a little bit of positive news, and construction is now underway for Port Coral, which will be dual megaship piers in Belize. So when completed in 2022, the piers will be able to accommodate 4 of the world's largest cruise ships at the same time and provide a new and attractive option to Western Caribbean cruise itineraries. At the present, the large buildings, a massive swimming pool, and the shopping plaza and land improvements are under construction, which is employing hundreds of hard-working people from Belize. And every time I hear these kind of stories where they continue to build cruise ports, improve cruise ports, it does show that the cruise lines continue to look to the future. They are definitely anticipating a return to cruising. New construction for me always demonstrates that they're ready to go, as much as we're ready to go. So I do think this is a very positive story that shows exactly that. Also this week, Royal Caribbean's Odyssey of the Seas has left the cruise port with the ship close to being finished. The Quantum Ultra class vessel is next headed to the North Sea for a set of sea trials, which are essentially, test drives, check out the ship, make sure everything was working properly. And it's always exciting when a new cruise ship launches. You get to see all of the new amenities and new spaces that they've put onto the ship. And of course, there's always a huge excitement people that want to book the brand new ship on its inaugural sailing. So we're all looking forward to the Odyssey of the Seas joining the Royal Caribbean family here in the near future. So that is our cruise and travel news this week. We're going to be continuing to watch and see if we're going to get any information on Alaska. Is the U.S. government going to move on that? Are they going to allow us to sail without having to stop in Canada? Or is Canada going to allow us to make a technical stop there? I think is a very positive note that there are at least discussions to whether or not this could happen. The cruise lines and the governments are talking to each other. They're working together, trying to reach a resolution that is beneficial to everybody while maintaining health and safety. Cruise lines such as Royal Caribbean have stated that they are working hand in hand with the CDC. They are in communications with each other, trying to get the health and safety protocols finished, the technical requirements finished, that will allow the cruise lines to return to sailing. So again, that is a positive note. At least somebody has said something that, hey, we are working together, there is information. Hopefully soon we will be able to start test cruising and return to sailing. All positive information when you look at the big picture. And believe me, I know it is hard to be patient. I am very ready to run down the road right now, get on a cruise ship, and enjoy a vacation. We just can't yet. Well, I hope you enjoyed this week's show. Hope you found that information useful. If you did, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and we will see you out on the high seas eventually.